talking about this stuff.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, so I'll reiterate that assessment 3 does not need any referencing. That's not in the marking criteria. What we're really looking for is your ability to perform these tests in SPSS, to understand what you need to do and to be able to perform it.
Okay.
So have you guys got any specific questions for me regarding... I'm recording this, so this is available to everyone, so I don't mind being a little specific in how I answer your question.
Yeah, I've got one question about the assignment. In one section, hang on, I'll just see if I can find it. In the traditional media use one, is it okay if I use a combination of descriptive statistics and also frequencies?
Yeah, well, descriptive statistics are frequencies.
Yeah,
that's
you know what I mean, like mean and everything. Yeah.
Yep, no worries. If you think the thing is that it has to have meaning, okay? So like giving an average of a religion or something like that's not useful. You have to give an average of something that can be averaged. So I'll be looking for your intrinsic understanding of the data in that way.
Okay, it's just for the traditional media usage, I thought it would be a good idea to discuss which one is being used more, and also discuss which particular types of media usage, like, for example, what types of TV shows and all that.
Yeah, totally.
Most used.
And that's interesting, and that's the cool thing. That's what makes research actually interesting. I quite like this side of it because you actually find results. You actually find things out. So, I get an SPSS database like this and can't help myself but go and analyse every aspect of it just because it's interesting to see what stories it can tell.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I know, because everyone's like, oh, SPSS, it's hard to use. But once you actually figure out, it's really not that hard. I mean, there's some really complicated things in SPSS that we don't even start to look at, but those basic analysis, which is essentially what almost every analysis is, what most people use, are easy.
Okay. Yeah.
So Joseph, what can I sorry Shane, you disappeared. Your face is no longer.
Yeah, it happens.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's my laptop. For some reason, every time I move the lid even slightly, it's working.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Joseph?
So with the questions, I'm struggling a bit to get the answers, obviously, because I'm trying to play catch up. I'm a little bit behind at the moment, but for question 1, because there's 6 marks allocated to it. I mean, it's basically frequencies, but there's not many you can do means and other things too. So is it more about the explanations that we give about the frequencies?
Well, the reason why question 1 has quite a few marks allocated is because you have to do a few different operations. So if you think, I need to be able to give you a mark per operation, more or less. So demographic composition, you could do 1 on gender, 1 on marital status, 1 on the number of people in your family, 1 in age, 1 in income, So if you do 1 each in each of those, that describes the demographic composition. And then, so right there, you've probably got most of your marks straight up. And then with a meaningful description below all of that, so you can say, now, please, I'm saying this now, I've said it multiple times, if you're doing a table or if you're doing a graph, can you please refer to it in your text? Don't just expect that people are going to read it because it's in your text. So table 1, table 2. Table 1 indicates that there's more males than females. Table 2 indicates that there's more married people than not, or whatever it is, okay? You could...
So you don't have to go like what you're talking about now, males and females. If you were to use the information from section 1 and compare that with males and females for each category, you don't have to go into that much detail?
You don't have to. You can. So you could say like, there's more married women than not. Is that the sort of thing you're saying?
Yeah, well, I just cross-tabulated it with, age and look at the different age groups and sort of thing. But the only thing it doesn't tell you, in case of married and unmarried, it doesn't actually tell you whether there's any couples in this survey.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't know if they're married and cruising with their traveller. Sorry, I'm thinking about the number assessment too, not cruising. They're married. No, you don't know that. That's right. Sorry, I'm thinking completely. I've just about finished marking that big assessment too, and it's all in my head. So I'm sorry about that. No, so you could cross-tabulate that if you want to. In the end, what I'm really looking for is when you're describing the demographic makeup of your sample, you want to say that, there's a lot more baby boomers, or, it is really biased. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's 75%. Oh, sorry.
Okay, yep, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, 75% women in the sample. So we need to think about whether this is, that kind of stuff. So you can address any biases and think about what that means in terms of your survey.
And the other question I had was my word count. I'm having a few issues with the word count because SPS wouldn't download onto the Mac. So I've had to download it onto a Windows computer. So I'm trying to compile it all in Excel. But as soon as you put Excel into Word, every bit in the graph sort of gets counted as a word.
Look, I know this very well. What you can do with Excel is if you right-hand click and paste special, you can paste it as a different object and it keeps its frame more. There's three or four different options. And if you just take that, so right-hand click when you're pasting it into, I had to do this for my thesis. So I was taking a lot of tables out of Excel, so I copy them and right-hand click in Word and paste them. And they would, sometimes they'd come up really big, but you just shrink them down, but they kept all their proportions properly.
Oh, okay, yep.
Might be worth doing. You don't, are you putting it into Excel so you can write it on your Word on your Mac?
Well, I've got Excel on the Mac, so
okay, I see.
I'm just using Word and just copy and pasting from Excel into Word straight up. But yeah, I'll have a look at that function and hopefully eliminate.
Right-hand clicking will help you with that. I have SPSS on my Mac, so I'm not sure why it's not working for you.
Well, I've got the IBM version, the 14-day trial.
Yeah,
it wouldn't download.
Yeah, I've had a couple of problems with that as well.
I'm so sorry. It's one of those things. It's what I'll put in my recommendations for the next person who coordinates this. But I've asked a lot of questions, as I've mentioned to you before, Shane, about whether SPSS is 100% necessary. And I've had quite convincing feedback to say that a lot of the lecturers that are offering this subject who I'm sort of coordinating are saying that it's actually extremely useful. It makes this unit really valuable to you.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
After I was a little bit annoyed to start off with, but after using the program, it is very easy to use.
It's easy to use, but I'm just having the other thing I was going to ask was the tables that it produces. When you look at the size of the towns, for example, rather than giving you the range that we have on the sheet, it gives you an average of the range. Is that just a setting? Because I can't change any of those settings. I've tried it and it won't let me change any of the settings.
Hang on, I'm just going to share my screen, Joseph. Hang on a sec. And I'm going to look up. I have Excel SPSS open for this. And so what operation did you perform that for the size of the town?
Yeah, if you do the frequency one for the size of the town.
Yep.
And the other thing is, if you look at the description that we've been given, size of town, codes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it starts with 1 million or more, 500K or more.
Yeah.
Well, when you do the frequency one, it actually starts with the under 100K, and it gives it as 500, and so forth. So it starts in the opposite direction.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I worked it out only yesterday when I was looking at my figures and it didn't make any sense.
Hang on. I'll just exit because I use mine to try not. Oh, stop, go away, cancel. I use mine so then I'm not giving you all the answers, but I'll quickly look at. Oh, God. Why are you not closing? No, I don't want to save that. Go. SPSS is notoriously big and it's a bit slow because I've got a lot of entries. Yes, I do want to proceed. Okay. It just thinks forever. Yep, go. Yes. Okay. I might just open it in a different place. Marketing, assessment, global motors, that's what we want. All right, so frequency for the size of the hometown?
Yeah, just the size of the hometown.
Yeah.
And that's all I did. And then my answer or my printout came up as the other way around.
Just have a look at mine.
I don't know whether it's just something in my settings or...
What problem are you having exactly?
So can I just show you here, Joseph? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Right. So this is the town size. So we're in variable. Sorry, I'll just pull that up so you can see I'm in variable down the bottom. So variable view, if I click on that, I can see what each label is. So 1 equals under 10, 2 equals 10 to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
but that's not what it says in the paper that we've been given.
The thing, size of hometowns.
Because it starts with 1 million.
Right. Okay. So they're the value labels.
So the value labels are the wrong way around. In that case.
Not necessarily. This is how it's allocated in SPSS. So you talk about it like this. So 5 relates to the bigger one. So they've written it there.
But that makes sense. But if you look at your description,
I can see
it says 1 relates to 1 million if you read it exactly of the figures there.
Did I write that?
Well, I don't know who wrote it, but it comes up everywhere. If you search on the computer, wherever it is, it's obviously a produced text from the book producer.
Right. Okay. Well, sorry about that.
I'm not getting that on mine.
You don't get that?
No. I've been looking at. Having a look at the table now. I'll have a quick look in SPSS.
Yeah.
And so when the table comes up, it gives me an average of the range rather than the range of, whatever it says from over 10K or 10K to 100K, whatever the range is. It just says to me it's 62 or it's 37 or,
Okay.
So I don't know what I've got something there.
More. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I'm having difficulties seeing seeing my output. It's being really uncooperative. I've got, you can see what I'm like. I've got 2,000 things open on this bloody computer, so it's really...
My wife does that as well.
I know, and look at all my desktop icons as well. They're all the images I use in my lectures. It's just awful. But whatever reason,
No, you should see mine.
View, toolbars. For whatever reason, the analysis is not actually occurring, which is really irritating right now, isn't it? Okay, so I'll just make sure. So I haven't ticked central tendency there. I'm really sorry, Joseph, but for whatever reason, my output viewer is, I'm going to have to just, yes, I do want to read. Sorry about this, guys.
All right.
Quick.
No, look, that's fine, but I'm just saying it seems to forever, whatever those allocated outputs are that you have on your screen, it seems to just put them as an average for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, you need to get a table that shows you the frequencies of each. Yeah. So how many are in a town of over 1 million? How many are in a town of whatever each one of those categories are? You know, SPSS won't actually quit on me either. So I think it's having a little heart attack all on it. SPSS, force quit. Yes, I do. See, this stuff never happens when you guys aren't here and watching me. It's only
the same thing happens to me every time something's stuffing up for me, and then when my wife has a look at it, it always works for her.
My husband is an IT guy, and I kid you not, 99% of the time he says, turn it off and turn it back on again, and the thing works. And it really irritates me because I should probably think of that myself.
The first rule of IT.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. So SPSS is trying to open again. So look, I'll try and sort that out for you and have a look at something. For whatever reason, it's just not feeling friendly. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'll have a bit more of a look at that for you, Joseph. Did you have any other questions?
No, just yeah, I was just trying to work out the detail and things for most of the questions, but yeah, I'm reasonably confident with the calculations. I'm quite okay with the statistics side of things.
Yeah.
It's just putting it together and presenting it in a format that makes sense.
Yeah. No, well, that's in the end, I guess what I've got in mind, and I didn't put an exemplar on because I didn't have any that weren't specific to this, and I didn't just want to give you that. So I can tell you now there's no way SPSS is going to work for me today. I'm really sorry about that. So what I envisage is basically just a big some tables and graphs and a clear explanation saying, as you can see in this graph and this thing, this is what this says. As you can see in this graph and this is what this says. And you can label it question 1, question 2, question 3, A, B, C, whatever, and just answer the questions. I need this, like I say, I need it to be easy to mark, but I need you to show some insight. I need you to show that you can see, you can read the relevant parts of the table.
So basically, if for the town, for example, you say, okay, well, 40% of the population lives in a town that's an average of 750,000 people.
Yes.
That's all the information you require, basically.
Yeah, this indicates this and this indicates that. And this may indicate a bias. If you can see one, if you think there's one there, then mention that in the sample. Or maybe a potential reason for this is that, you know, the survey was administered by phone and more older people aren't their phone survey or something like that. So just a little bit of analysis. Doesn't have to be super in-depth. It just needs to be clear, and essentially I just need to see that you can in fact conduct this analysis and you understand what you're doing.
Can we also say things like seeing as more people are in higher population areas, this would be a good place to focus the marketing on?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that kind of stuff would be really useful. So you're thinking about the implications of your findings, yeah? So that's giving it extra thought, and that would definitely attract extra money.
Okay. That's the sort of thing I was looking for.
Yeah, great. Joseph, I'm sorry, you're on the secondary marking list because I know you had an extension, but I have
that's fine.
Put off a few of those people. I had to go to hospital yesterday. I wasn't very well, so I'm fine now and everything's cool, but I was just a little bit behind getting, I had to get the moderation sorted out for the other face-to-face campuses, so I'm just a bit behind. Anyway, it should be fine. So I haven't had a look, so I can't give you guys any specific feedback, and I'm recording, so you probably don't want me to anyway. Yeah. I'm really sorry I can't open my SPSS. It's just given.
But when in regards to those tables, then do you want us to give the range in the tables, or you just want us to give it the average, like SBS is spitting out for me at this point in time. I don't know if...
The average isn't going to be very useful.
Well, it's only the average of the data, well, the, what do you call it, the allocation sort of thing. I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly.
That's all right. I have that problem all the time.
Let's have a look. There's the value labels, basically. The value labels are being averaged. In case of the town, in case of the age.
In the town?
So in the town, rather than giving me a population of 1 million or more, or 500k to 1 million, it'll give me 150,000, 1.5 million, or 750,000, or 300,000, for example. So the 300,000 would relate to the 500 to the 10k to 500k, I would think, as being the average. And it gives it as an average of that. I don't know why it does that. And in the age category for the range 18 to 24, it'll give me 21. 25 to 34, it'll give me 31, I think it is.
All right.
So I was just wondering if that's something in settings or whether that's something that just mine is doing.
Guess what? I got it to work. I'm so happy with myself. All right, here we go. So
yeah, see how you got your frequency come up with under 10 and 10k and all that?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't get any of those values coming up in my tables when I do it.
You're not getting those?
No, I'm getting under 10k minus 5,000. The next one is 55,000, and then 300,000, 750.
Okay. Are you just doing a straight... Are you seeing what I'm doing up here? Analyse, descriptive, statistic, frequency?
Exactly the same as what you just have done.
Yeah, and then I've popped that over and gone okay.
Yep, that's all I've done.
And it hasn't come up like that?
No. Well, it gives me the same information, but it just doesn't give me where it says valid, all that information in that format. But when I'm crossing it over to Excel, I am actually using that format because I think it makes more sense. Right.
Okay. So I think you do have what you need in that though. So there's, for example, 396 in the sample. So 39.6%, nearly 40% of the sample are in towns 500k to 1 million.
Mm.
Yeah. So you can find that information. I
can find that information. And so the other thing for question one is, do you have to then, if you go to town size and then you go to dwellings, for example, which are sort of related, do you have to relate them to each other?
No, you don't have to. Just give me a second.
I had to do a bit of a translation of the American version of what a condominium and all those sort of things are, because my thought of what it was something different than what their actual interpretation of it is.
My main annoyance is spelling mistakes.
Yeah. Can I ask, is
and
this
also gasoline.
Joseph, is this the table you get here?
No, I get the table that you have with the size of town and all that. It's just the values are different in mine. On the left-hand side, the actual value labels are different.
Right.
So is it in the opposite order, or
for some reason it gives me an average of those, like a mean value.
Wow.
Yeah. And it does that. It does that with the age one, and was the other one I did that had the same thing. The age one, the level of education, it doesn't give me any labels. It just gives me 10, 12, 14, 16.
So you realise, can I just point something out to you? If you want to do all of these, you can do them all at the same time too. You can actually...
Yeah, I did them all at the same time.
Yeah,
and then, but some of them do exactly what they're supposed to do and come out with the correct values, and others don't.
maybe try re-downloading the data packet.
Maybe. There's definitely something wrong, Joseph. Were you fiddling, like, just have a look and stuff with the...
Oh, no, I don't fiddle. I'm not that computer literate to fiddle.
Don't worry, I'm the same. It's very intimidating trying to manage this.
I'm happy if it downloads and it actually functions.
Yeah, I get that. Well, this is all here, so I cannot help you with that because I think it's a specific issue with something.
Well, look, I can get the information out of it, but I'm just sort of saying. I think for the assessment, it'd be better to have the labels as they are on your screen rather than on my screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking actually. So if I get a Word document. And if I get Excel, and I'll try not to bring up everybody's marks, so you can't say, new workbook. I'll just quickly show you what I was talking about. If I copy that, paste it into Excel, that comes up looking like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's fine.
Yep, and I might, make it a bit fancier looking, or widen that column so I can read it. Then I copy that, and if I go into Word, right-hand click, paste special.
Yep.
I usually choose, that's not what I usually choose, actually. I don't think what I usually choose is actually in there. Okay. But that comes up not too bad. So maybe have a little play. When I do a graph, it tends to work a lot. There's some other things. So,
so I'm using Excel to create the graphs too, rather than try and copy them out of SBS, because I have to send from one computer to another computer. And
so if I paste special, I think this is what Microsoft Office Graphic. I can't remember which one of those I use. That actually comes up quite well.
Yeah, that doesn't change, but I think the way you copied the Excel sheet, so if you change anything in Excel, it'll actually change it on
there.
Word format as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think this does.
But I'll try that and see if it affects my word count. I hope it doesn't affect the word count with putting it in there like that.
Now, the other thing is word count. I've had a number of inquiries. So there's two things that I'm going to put a forum post on. I'm not going to count your tables in your word count. I'm not going to penalise you if you're under the word count and you've got tables and stuff, but it sounds like everybody's having troubles doing their tables and being able to write anything. So I'm happy to say we won't count the tables in the
Actually, what I usually do when I'm counting up my words is I select the first lot of text that I need, and then I hold down Control, and then I select all the rest of it. And then on the title page, I only write down that word count.
Yeah. That's easier for me. Look, there was a bit of variability, but people were reasonably good. Some people really pushed the boundaries, with the assessment too. But I don't think there's been anyone who's really over enough for me to penalise them. What we're really trying to get away from, what I'm trying to tell you is this is the level of detail required. So I'm comparing all of you as apples rather than some who've done, 50-page documents and some who've only done 10.
Well, with question one, my word count is up to 700 already, and that's only writing like one sentence.
Yeah. So if you just
count the one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my advice.
That's what I'm saying. It's counting the words in the graph as an actual word.
I think it's going to do that regardless, though. Whether you generate your graphs and tables in Word or Excel or
you can paste your Excel things as an image too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We'll have a play with it and see how we go.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Any other questions?
Not at this stage.
No? Feel free to email me. I do get the odd email. I get about 3 a day at the moment. So everyone's feeling a little bit under pressure to sort of suddenly learn this new software. I've tried to give you a few goes at it, so with me doing it, so you can see how it flows. Hopefully it should. I think I have done an example of every type of test that you need to do. I think I've done in one of these tutorials. So you should be able to have some guidance on every one. I haven't used the same database, but I've done the same operations.
Oh, one more question actually. Do we need to do any correlation sort of stuff anywhere in the assignment?
No, I don't think so.
I'd like to figure out which genders prefer which TV shows or whatever.
It's not a question, so I don't think I can mark it. It's nice if you want to sort of have a go and do that, but I have to mark you against the criteria, and the criteria just goes down to hypothesis testing.
Okay. So
in the end, yeah, like I say, you can if you want to, and I'll probably go, well, that's good, and maybe give you an extra mark or something, but, if you've done everything else right, you should be able to get reasonably good marks anyway. Yeah,
true. Yeah, as far as the demographics goes, it's mainly married couples with like one kid, so yeah.
Yeah, so you can discuss that. It's mainly this, the 18 to 25-year-olds are underrepresented. This might be because they're not in the frame to buy a new car. There's a few sort of ideas that you could volunteer. Cool.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Well, I hope I've helped you. Sorry for my feeling on SPSS. It's looking all right now, though. So. Okay. All right. Well, I'll stop recording then if everyone's finished with their questions.
Yeah.
Awesome. How do I do that? I can't remember. Stop share. There we go. All right. Everyone's good and happy. Just email me, Joseph. I know in particular it's a little bit tricky trying to get everything when you've got a lot of other things going on. So just
another assignment due next week as well.
Yeah, I know.
Fun.
Under the pump. Yeah, and I can't grant too many extensions for this.
No, I want to finish this one this week. So
cool. All right. It won't actually take you very long. Once you've got SPSS in front of you, run all your tests, write up your stuff. It really doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tests are reasonably easy to do. I'm quite happy using the software, but it's just tabulating it all and making sure that they're right enough or not enough. Well, I'm probably two-worded rather than not concise enough.
I think concisely is what I'll be looking for. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys. See you later.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.